All right, we're going to be looking at two lessons today, 3.2 and 3.3. I teach as one lesson, and I'll explain that as we go through it. So 3.2 is going to talk about these theorems that are listed here in black. So these four right here is what we're going to be focusing on. 3.3 talks about this converses of these theorems. We'll talk about those in just a minute. So I've condensed these down a little bit so that they're not quite as an overwhelming task, and especially just, what you need to know is that if you have corresponding angles, they're congruent. If you have alternate interior angles, they're congruent. Alternate exterior angles, those are congruent. The only ones that aren't congruent are same side interior. And so that was why I told you I like to stick with same side. Some books use same side, some use the word consecutive, but I like this like think this supplementary. So it helps us remember if it's same side, supplementary. And so, remember, supplementary means it adds up to 180 degrees. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, try to make this straight here. So these two lines are parallel, and I don't know if we talked about this or not in the last note card, but anytime you see these double arrows, that's a symbol for parallels. Remember, we talked about congruent symbols. Now we're going to talk about parallel symbols. So that's a symbol for parallel. So when I see that, then I know the theorem actually says if two lines are parallel, so these two lines are parallel, then, so that goes back to what we were doing in the last chapter, corresponding angles are congruent. So let's say this is 88 degrees, and I ask you for this one right here. Notice these are corresponding. They're in the same location, just at different points on the line. So that means that this is also 88 degrees. They're the same. Okay. Alternate interior are also congruent. So let's say this is 88 right here. This one over here is 88 as well, because those are alternate interior. Now, some of you may have already realized this and come to this conclusion, but in addition to the fact that alternate interior are congruent and corresponding are congruent, we see these two angles right here, which are vertical. So even if I forgot the corresponding angles theorem, or if I forgot the alternate interior angle, I could probably get the answer by doing one of my other theorems. And so in the last chapter, we learned the vertical angles theorem. And so I could have gotten to the answer that way as well. In addition to that, I also know that these two angles right here are supplementary. So if I subtracted 180 minus 88, and I got 90, I want to say 98, and that doesn't seem right. No, that's 16. Let's see. Goodness, I'm having a little flurb here. 92, is that going to add up to? Yeah. So then if that's 92, then this is also 92 because these are alternate interior. If this is 92, this over here is 92 because those are vertical. This is 92, this down here is 92 because those are vertical, and that go this way, this is 88 because these are vertical. Supplementary, so you can see. And if I look at this, like when we talked about, like this is a parking lot, this parking lot matches this parking lot: 92, 92, 88, 88, 88, 88, 92. So that's what we're looking at in this section, is these four theorems right here. The only ones that we have different is same side interior. But again, we could have gotten there from using one of the other ones. But same side interior is talking about these angles right here. So these two are on the same side of the transversal, and they're inside the two parallel lines. So 88 and 92 are supplementary. Same thing over here on this side. Change colors to a different highlighter. And so on this side right here, this 92 and this 88, they'll add up to 180. They're same side interior. That's the only one that's different. And so remember supplementary. But again, I could have also gotten to it by doing like the vertical angles, or do this linear pair here. There's multiple ways to get to the answer. Okay. We'll talk about 3.3 in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and go clear the ink here. I'm going to go down here real quick. So just to like start with one really quickly. We'll just do, oops, I meant to do a pin. We'll just do a couple. So let's say if I give you this right here is 56 degrees, and I ask you to find X down here and Y right here. Okay, so if this was me, I would first find the Y because I know that 56 and Y are corresponding. And so I would just know that these are the same. So Y is 56. And then I could move 56 over here and make this vertical, and then I could use the same side interior angle theorem right here. Or I could have, if I know that this is 56 right here, I could do linear paired this way, which is the same thing as doing it this way as well. So to find X, I would say 180 minus 56. And so then that's going to be 124. And so that's what my X value would be. And there's my Y value. Okay, so we're going to do a Khan Academy. So you might want to pause the video, go to the Khan Academy and practice this because the Khan Academy just does it with numbers. I'm going to go on to the rest of the notes. This slide is not part of the notes. I'm going to go back to the notes, but you might want to pause the video here. All right, so this is a little bit step up of what we'll be doing. So first of all, this we just talked about this right here. If this is 117, then angle 1 is also 117 because those are vertical angles. And then if that's 117, then angle 2 is also 117 because those are corresponding. So angle 1 and angle 2 are both 117 degrees. Okay. When I come over here, I see that these are alternate interiors. So I know alternate interior are also congruent. Okay, the only time I add them up to 180 is when it's same side interior. So 2x equals 128. Divide both sides by 2, and so then x is equal to 64. And so that, and sorry, it's not a degree because it's finding an x, sorry. So that would be your value there. Now, coming down here, I can see that these are same side. They're on the same side, and they're both inside the parallel lines. So same side interior, supplementary. So 7x plus 24 plus 72, all of that adds up to 180 degrees. And then I'm going to solve for x. So my first step would be distribute. There's no distribution. I'm going to clean up. So I've got 7x plus 96 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 96 from both sides. So this is going to be 94. No, 84, right? Okay. And then divide both sides by 7. And so x is equal to 12, I believe. 17. Yeah. So x is equal to 12.